Now I'm in Animal Kingdom. I just got 2 fast passes, so I'm just going to take advantage of them. My fast pass is in for like 15 minutes, so. Oh, a black swan. I've never seen that before. He's behind the rock. I'll have to get him later. There he is. Never even know there was such a thing. I don't even know what's through here. Oh, maybe it's just a cut through. Here's the flamingos. It's heading back to Africa, I believe. I think that's where the Kilimanjaro Safari. I don't know how big this trail is. I don't even know how much animals are going to be out right now. It's like midday. Yeah, it's pretty nice back here. Oh, there's a porcupine. It's in the shade. Tortoise. Oh, actually there's multiple. Oh, I didn't realize that's right under the Tree of Life. They have all different animals etched in. another guy back there. There's that stork again. Better thing of him.
So they gotta be wild calls. Oh yes. Is everybody ready to answer the call? Say yeah, yeah. Oh, that sounds actually good. That's pretty good. One more time. Everybody say yeah, yeah. All right, so this is how it goes. 1, 2. Everybody says holly, holly, holly.
Okay.
Well, that's the spot, yes, but you gotta come in even much stronger there. Oh yeah, you need some serious vengeance there. Everybody take a few steps. Set it up.
That's what we're going on next. Yeah, I'm doing a video. You're fine.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Wildlife Reserve is an area to protect and conserve wildlife. So a lot of the animals that we see here on the reserve definitely need that protection. So definitely keep your eyes open. So yeah, we're going to see a lot of endangered animals, a lot of threatened animals, a lot of conservation-dependent species. That means that the conservation-dependent species, they rely on conservation efforts such as living on reserves to keep their population the way it's at. They're not really endangered, they're not really threatened, but if they didn't live on reserves like this, most likely their population would decrease significantly. Oh, and look over here, the first animal of our safari, over on the left. Hey, bongo. Bongo. Yeah. Bongos are known as ghosts of the forest. It's kind of hard to see. It's a reddish-brown animal laying down. They blend in extremely well with vegetation. At night, they're pretty much impossible to see. And they are an endangered species due to deforestation and poaching for their pretty coats. Oh, and look, over on the left, a couple black rhinos. There's one away in the distance, but there's also one a little bit closer laying down over here. Looks like a rock. A black rhino are critically endangered. There's less than 5,000 black rhino left in the entire world. That's due to poaching for their horns. Their horns are made out of the same thing as our fingernail and hair, which is keratin. And a lot of people believe that rhino horns have a medicinal value. Of course, it's not true. If it was, you could eat your own fingernail and hair and cure the same diseases people claim that rhino horns can cure. It just doesn't make any sense since your fingernail and hair is grown from your body, which means your body already has keratin in it. During that one meal, they've been able to eat up to half their body weight. It's as much as 270 pounds in one meal. That's crazy. But both the Nile hippopotamus and the Nile crocodile are threatened species. More and more people are living here in Africa, living closer and closer to water sources such as rivers. So they're destroying the habitat that is so vital to the species, such as hippo and crocodile. And that's why they are threatened, because of habitat destruction. Alright, now we're heading towards one of the largest ecosystems on the planet. the Serengeti grasslands or savanna. Stretching for hundreds and hundreds of miles across the entire continent of Africa, it's home to some of the largest animals on the planet. Not only giraffe like the one you see, there's a couple of them around, but elephants, rhinos, ostrich, and plenty others. I do see a bunch of giraffes, so I could call it a tower group of giraffe. There are 7 different species of giraffe throughout Africa. There's only one on the reserve. These are Maasai giraffe. Maasai are considered a conservation-dependent species, even though they're one of the more populated of the 7. They have very jagged and irregular spots and patterns, while the species of giraffe are very delicate net-like patterns. And of course, the Ankole cattle, these animals with massive horns next to us on the right. Their horns can get up to 6 feet long. They're not that heavy though, they're actually almost hollow inside. They pump blood through the horns to help cool them off during the middle of the day. And they are signs of wealth for some people here in Africa. The more cattle you own, the wealthier you are presumed to be. By humans. Oh, and also look over on the left, the emblem of the reserve, those reddish brown antelope, those are sable antelope. They are extremely territorial. It's one of the reasons why they're the emblem of the reserve. They are willing to protect their area even from some predators. And we're willing to protect our area from poachers. They are also a conservation-dependent species. And the Ankole cattle, of course, are domesticated, so they definitely don't really need the help of humans to keep their population up. Including their sleeping habits. Giraffe only need 30 minutes of sleep a day. Here, a couple minutes there, scattered throughout the entire day. Now, there is a juvenile over there. Almost fully grown, but definitely still a juvenile. Oh, and look, guys. So we have the wildebeest coming up on our right-hand side, those gray and black animals, and also the largest antelope species in Africa, the Patterson eland, these animals over here on the left, up on the hill. Now, yeah, the male, the one that's a little bigger, and then there's 2 females. They are fully grown. The males can get up to 6 feet tall and weigh close to 2,000 pounds. Females, like, as you can see, they're a little bit smaller than that. They are massive creatures. And the male eland, even though they're so large, they can still jump 8 feet straight up in the air from a standing position. And of course, the wildebeest. Like I said, one of the most populated animals on the planet. 1.3 million individual wildebeest migrate every single year here in Africa. 1.3 million of them. Of course, that is a rough estimate, but it's still a staggering amount of wildebeest. And they have one of the largest migrations here in Africa, or all over the world, not only because of how many of them migrate, but because of how far they can migrate, up to 1,000 miles, and in herds of thousands. Oh, another giraffe over there. I don't see anything, but up ahead is the clay pit, so I'm hoping to find the elephants up there. Right here, if you notice there's a road closed sign. Well, oh look, there's also an elephant over there, look. That's a juvenile, you can tell just because of its size. Not fully grown yet. Since it's a juvenile, most likely that means that there's adults around, unless it's a young male that's a young bachelor. Males are typically bachelors living by themselves or with other males. Very rarely do you see adult male and adult female interacting. The only time you really do is when they're mating. After mating, the female elephant can become pregnant for 22 months. It's the longest pregnancy in the world. Now, like I said, that road, it's been closed for so long it doesn't even look like there's a road there. So we have to go across this rickety old bridge. I'm not a fan of it, so we're going to go polo. Oh, I don't like that sound. Oh dear. Okay, yeah, I'm not a fan of that bridge. Every time I go across it, it gets worse and worse. That creaking and groaning sound. And every time I call the word, they say it's just fine. Oh, and look at this. This is the clay pit I was talking about. The herd has definitely been here recently. Like I said, that's why they're here on the reserve. They definitely need our protection. We're not protecting them for us. We are protecting them for future generations. Imagine a world without these animals, where your children or your children's children or even their children will have to learn about these animals from textbooks or from museums and not zoos or wildlife reserves or even out in the wild. Very sad and empty place. Our world is starting to go or become empty because of humans. There's a lot. Technically, 2 different species of white rhino throughout Africa. The ones on the reserve are southern white rhino. They're a threatened species, and that is due to habitat destruction and because of poaching. As many as 4. Now, a group of zebra like that is called a dazzle of zebra, and a group of ostriches is just called a flock. A male lion, they can be inactive up to 20 hours a day. Females are a little bit more active than that. That's because they're the primary hunters of the world, getting up to 8 feet tall and weighing around 300 pounds at their max. And the zebra, like I said, 3 different species of zebra throughout Africa. Those are Grant. Grants have stripes all over their bodies, including their stomach region, while the other 2 species of zebra do not have stripes on their stomach. So the Grants are sometimes called the common or plain zebra because they are the more common of the 3. So if you ever see any videos or pictures of zebra, most likely it is going to be the Grant. This is the final part of the reserve. This is Magadi Glen. Looks like this. It looks like there's a couple birds over here on the right. Looks like 2 of them. Those are yellow-billed stork. I'm not really surprised to see a small group of them. They are pretty antisocial animals. Very rarely found in groups more than 4 or 5. The yellow-billed stork are carnivores like some birds. They'll eat pretty much anything that fits in their bills, including other birds. As long as it fits in their bills, they will eat it. Unfortunately, that did mark the end of our safari. Not the end of fun here in Animal Kingdom. There's plenty of things for you guys to do and see. I'm going to be dropping you guys off at the Warden's Post. And from there...
Got her badge. Okay, follow behind her.
Just hanging out. See the gorilla up there. It's on a suspension bouncy bridge, so Oh, I went right behind the tree. That was a safari that I just passed. So we're heading back towards the front. Maybe make it look like with all the electrical wires. All the junction boxes are all. Asia. Coming up on Everest. Still heading to Everest, but kind of a neat little corner. Very well heavily themed. There's Everest. I'm gonna go on that now with my fast pass. There's Everest.
Well, I guess it's being forced.
Turn around and face it. And then take your picture while they're coming down. I'm going to wait till they...
Here we're in Pandora. This is the newest area, based on Avatar.
Looks like you get similar shoes on. Nike. Yeah.
Get on the other side, it's all black, it's all backlit. This is coming out of the restaurant at the far end of Pandora. There's a floating mountain. Trying to get it backlit. Get on the ride, you see the people way up there. It's actually a queue line, it's amazing. How are ya? Good, thanks. That's where you get into Pandora. There's actually two entrances. goes all the way over here and then on and through. There's the other